And I got there and everyone in the dorms had precious moments posters and had never experienced anything outside their cuddled lives, and it was like a real wake-up call. And so I backburnered the gay thing, kind of started dating a dentist, or he was going to be a dentist.
It caused a lot of problems in my life being so deep in the closet, because I really made a lot of choices just to like be a straight girl,
Right.
And
it's not all that, trust me.
The years that I did it,
I had to just become a sole practitioner of spirituality. I had to find, people who resonated with me of, I believe in a higher power. I believe that we should be taking care of each other, but I don't need a organization to tell me that I'm good enough.
Welcome to Thursday evening at the Academy. This is the first time we're doing kind of a live panel, and the topic, as you know, or as I hope you know, is religion and homosexuality. So let's just start with the role that religion has played in your life up to now.
So I actually didn't really become religious until I was like 11 or 12. And really from like 11 to about 15, it was like pretty much like all consuming my life. We just spent like almost every day at the church that we went to that were made up of like at most like 20 people. And it got really weird really quickly. And
that's a separate episode.
Yeah. And then I kind of caught on that like maybe none of this is okay, and I started to have, feelings for women, and was like, okay, I'm gonna ignore that, but I'm also gonna start to like reject the church.
So I probably started my spiritual journey right around 12. My mom consciously said, I need my kids to have a spiritual base. I ended up going to a Methodist church. 3 days of the week I worked, and then on Sunday, going to Sunday school, the service, and then whatever happened after the service. And sort of became that kid that people saw a lot, and became a accidental mentor and like the model child. But deep down inside, I was struggling because I knew I liked boys, but I didn't know what that meant. Where my church did a great job in taking care of every group who was marginalized, the one group I didn't see was LGBT. And growing up in a black church, predominantly black church, I got a sense that that was just something that wasn't talked about. Until one day, a guy came into the church, and an attractive guy, and he had this way about him that I thought was fascinating, and so did everyone else, but no one ever spoke about
what it was.
And so this was the 80s, and what I ended up learning much later in life, he got sick. And I saw the church turn their back on him, and this is the same time I was going off to college, and I turned my back on what I saw. I just said, they love me, but they don't love me for who I am.
Because I was living in the mountains and there wasn't much socialization, and so my few neighbor friends were in the youth group, and it was kind of how I got to go go-karting or go downtown and go ice skating or whatever, was fun. And so I did get involved in the youth group, and then I got into the Christian college. And so I was like, I should do that. it's a small liberal arts college, it's gonna be a great education, I'll like get my shit together. And so I went to Westmont in Santa Barbara, and I had came out in high school before that, and so I was out to my friends, not my family, and I didn't know how that was going to feel going there. I had such a supportive group of friends in high school that we dealt with every issue, so I felt like a real adult that I was just going to go handle whatever. And I got there and everyone in the dorms had precious moments posters and had never experienced anything outside their cuddled lives, and it was like a real wake-up call. And so I backburnered the gay thing, kind of started dating a dentist, or he was going to be a dentist. I had on my car, because I was a proud gay Christian, right? I was trying to rock that identity. And I had the Christian fish sticker on the car with the rainbow in it, and another rainbow sticker on the back of the car. And I got out of chapel, oddly enough, which we had to go to 3 times a week. And someone had razor bladed off the Christian fish sticker. I just got really really upset and needed an outlet. And so I decided to start what I thought was a conversation in the school newspaper and I had my friend go ahead and go to print with it, regardless of doing the checkpoints we're supposed to do to show people. And I didn't say, like, in one sentence, I'm gay in the article, but I didn't realize that I was coming out, I guess. And then my liberal teacher that had my back was like, took me aside and was like, you just came out in the paper, you're probably gonna need some support. And I'm like, no, I didn't. She's like, you kind of did. And so, yeah, and then it was like this crazy attack of like kids coming up to me and quoting Bible verses and having to like really learn some shit in that, you know.
So where did you go for support then? And how did you find, because you were religious up to that point, you were sort of...
Yeah, I mean, I think I was even like writing, you know, I don't even know let go and let God, you know, at the end of emails and stuff. Yeah, do you guys use that one? Yeah.
That's a hashtag now.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. These lovely Christian women gave me this book from their stand and were like, here's some like references that you can use.
There you go.
And this is probably a completely outdated thing, but it was a part of my experience. And it was a pastor that was accepting gay kids to come and speak to him and acting like a therapist to them.
And for you, Meghan, you talked about you were beginning to break away because some of the stuff that you were seeing was looking a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
But it was also because at the time you were falling in love with a woman and didn't feel like there was a place for that.
It was definitely both. There was this like senior girl in my class and she was super butch and I was so confused because I definitely never felt that way for a woman, you know? And so it was kind of overwhelming and I just like shoved that shit really deep down, you know? It was like, this is not okay, because the church that we were going to kind of still at the time, there was a lot of like forcing things on people.
Yeah.
And even being younger, I was like, I don't think that this is what God wants, just to like force these kind of things on people. It's really weird. But when I started to have those feelings for the other girl, I just really was like not ready to accept that. But it kind of lit a fire under me to like deal with the stuff at church. And was like, you know, this isn't for me. I'm smarter than this. They were teaching us that like it was not okay to be gay. I mean, I only came out like 4 years ago. It really took me like pretty much up until this time to correlate the two of like, that's why I was so deep in the closet.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it caused a lot of problems in my life, being so deep in the closet, you know, because I really made a lot of choices just to like be a straight girl, you know.
Right.
Right.
And
it's
so,
not all that, trust me.
You know, the years that I did it, once I finally did start dating and sleeping with women, it really was life-changing. So I was like, this whole time, like, I was just trying to, like, fit by, you know, the Bible's standards and, like, the churches and my family's standards of, like, what I should be doing. And I was so miserable.
We walk away from the church because we don't see ourselves and we're shamed.
But you're not allowed to see any alternatives either, because this is the way.
That's right. Or we will accept you, but we won't accept you fully.
Right.
Yeah.
So we see that where, sure, you can be a member, but you can't be anywhere in the
ranks of
whatever.
Yeah.
So, I had to just become a sole practitioner of spirituality. I had to find, people who resonated with me of, I believe in a higher power. I believe that we should be taking care of each other, but I don't need a organization to tell me that I'm good enough. I had to figure it out on my own.
Right. Let's take it up a notch. Religion in 2019. How much has it evolved? I'm not particularly religious. I'm Hindu. I grew up in India. I went to a convent school. They told me masturbation is a sin. I was like, I'm out.
Oh God, that one. That's a whole episode.
Yeah, right. Is there a religion that is more suited to accept people who are of non-traditional, however you define non-traditional, lifestyles?
My dad, he ended up becoming a Christian, like a born-again Christian, and he has been living in San Diego, and he goes to like one of these kind of like mega churches.
Ooh.
But it's like very like technology forward, and they're very accepting of gay people and trans people even, and so my dad would like try to talk to me. So part of me thinks that like maybe a lot of these newer churches are a little bit different. I still personally think that the Bible is full of a lot of terrible shit, especially towards women. It's really horrible, yes. And so it's just like really not something I can really get behind on. I feel like there are so many other religions that offer plenty of comfort in different things that they teach. I've, in like the last maybe like 5 years or so, opened myself up more to like Wiccan teachings and sort of more of like things that are a little bit more centered towards women and like the earth and just more of like natural things.
Right.
But I'm not really sure that any one like religion has anything right, particularly. And I think that a lot of religions can be used as like tools to like keep people as your slaves.
And you know, it's interesting with Hinduism, if you go all the way back, there's a lot of evidence of homosexuality, lots of, you know, in our carvings and stuff like that, but somewhere along the way in the interpretation and the practice, it became, and just last year, India legitimized gay sex, just last year. But the number of people that are forced underground because they are religious, whether they're Hindu or they're Muslim or Buddhist even for that matter, and they haven't found the space for it. And therefore they don't have the courage because they don't know what's going to support them if they were to truly come out. It's really, really sad. Reggie, now you're an active member of Glide.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, I had been in the city for a decade before I walked through Glide doors. I've always heard about it because it's San Francisco's church. You know, like, you know, if you're new to San Francisco, people say, go to Glide because it's the most San Franciscan experience you're ever going to have. And so I walked in there, and most of the people I saw in the bars, the clubs, end up, you know, they were at Sunday celebration partying. And I just thought, all these brown people, all these women, all, you know, people from the Tenderloin, Pack Heights, all sitting next to each other, loving, hugging. I'm like, this is either hell or this is the secret that the church has been missing. And
either way, let me in.
Let me in. I never stopped coming. You know, I came. It was like around 2000, and I have been an active member since because I saw myself in so many people. Why are they able to do what they do and still be a Methodist church? And that's because the principles are the same. You know, it's about humanity, it's about social justice, it's about protecting the people who can't fight for themselves. But somewhere along the line, organized religion has just turned on itself and became very self-absorbed, egotistical, domineering, and greedy. Greedy for
Power
and money. You cannot be on this planet and not take care of your spirit. You will be lost and empty.
My family was really into Khalil Gibran and the Prophet because my mother was conceived in Lebanon, and that became a guiding point of something that felt much like a Bible, but in just such a way that empowers love as a bottom concept, and nothing about judgment and anything about that. And that was always a really great guide for me. The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz is a wonderful Bible. The Tao Te Ching, although it's a little complicated, is an awesome resource. This was another book from the lovely gay women in the park, openly gay and openly Christian. This is like, you know, is the Bible really gay friendly? It's kind of, that helped me break down Bible verses and all of that. I kind of, for me, have just found a bunch of things and just try to continuously live a spiritual life. And what I wrote about this kind of is that, like, really it's supposed to be an organic process, and I don't think that we have to pick this is what my religion is, or this is where my religion is going to stay, or my spirituality, and that it's something that we constantly need to flourish like we would a relationship or our education or anything else. And that's really been the biggest thing for me. But
that's that's part of the process. It's part of the journey. You have to keep trying until you see it. But there's something for everyone out there.
The thing that helped me the most was just that I started thinking for myself. Like I tried, like, blew away like what I was being told by other people and what, like, all the things I was reading, and not just the Bible but all kinds of different stuff. I just quieted all of that and just really started thinking for myself about, because spirituality is like the most like personal thing for yourself.
And I would add on to that, that takes courage, because often it's even people around you, your parents, people that you know care about you, they don't see it. So you kind of have to, they're part of the noise.
Yeah.
That, and not just parents, whoever it is in your community, people that you've known all your life, you have to shut all of that off and really listen to your inside. Anything, Reggie, you want to add to that?
Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. Because that will take care of the noise.
Yeah.
Right.
Take care of the naysayers. You have to truly believe that you are important, and if you don't love yourself, who the hell will?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is Kaamna from Kaamna Live, and this is your destination for BS-free conversations about all the things you care about. If you liked what you saw, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, potter around and see what else we have here, and of course, tell your friends. Cheers.